Hello all, this is Anis with you. Welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, we will see how to create a AJAX CRUD application using ASP.NET Core MVC. Let's see the demo of the application which we are going to make. This is the create screen of the application. In this screen, when you select country, automatically the cities of that country will be filled in the city select control. In case if the country or city is not listed in the select list, then you can click the plus button so that a model dialog window will load and you can add the country or city in that model window. Let's create our first customer. Enter our present captain details first. First name as Rohit, then last name as Sharma and a fake email ID. Then let's select the country as India. Notice the cities of the selected country are filled in the city select control. Okay, let's set the city as Mumbai and browse to select and upload its photo. Then click the create button to save the customer details. Perfect, our first customer details are stored successfully. Let's create one more customer. This time we fill the details of Virat Kohli. Select country as India. Virat Kohli belongs to Delhi, but Delhi is not listed in the city select list. So let's press the plus button to load the city creation dialog window. In here, let's enter city code as DEL and city name as Delhi, and notice the country is already set to India and it is read only, so that user cannot accidentally change the country here. Okay, let's press the save button. Perfect, the city Delhi is saved and the pop-up window also got closed. Let's click the city select list. Notice the city Delhi is now added to the city select list. Set the city as Delhi and let's press the browse button to select the photo. Let's select the Virat Kohli photo from the photo folder. Then let's press the create button to save the customer record. Perfect, the record is saved successfully. Let's also see the third case. This time I am going to create a foreign actor and show you how to create the country using the model dialog window. I have filled the details of the Tom Cruise, who is a famous actor. Hope you guys watched the Mission Impossible movie series. Tom Cruise belongs to USA, but America is not listed in the country select list. So let's press the plus button to create the country. Let's fill the country details and we'll press the save button to add the country to the backend database. Notice now the country is listed in the country select list. Let's select the country as USA and we'll go to the city selection control. Oh, city select list is empty because we just created the country. So let's press the plus button to create the city. Let's fill the city code and name in the respective text controls. And notice the country is already set to the USA and it is also read only. Okay, let's press the save button to add the city. Wow, now the city New York is listed in the select list. Let's set the city to New York and then we will select and set the profile photo for our customer Tom Cruise. After that, let's press the save button to save the customer profile. Perfect, the record is saved properly. So we saw all the three cases of customer creation. That's it with the create screen. Let's see the other CRUD operations also. This is the detailed screen of the application. Then let's open a customer profile in the edit screen. This is the edit screen of the application. Let's change the country to USA and notice the cities of the USA are populated in the city select control. Let's change the country back to India and change the city to Delhi. Then we will press the edit button to update the changes back to the database. Notice the city for Rohit Sharma is changed to Delhi now. So the edit module is also working fine in the application. Then let's change the photo and see whether the photo is getting updated in the edit mode or not. Then click the edit button. Yes, we are able to change the photo also in the edit mode. let's change back the photo to the photo of Rohit Sharma. Then we will press the edit button to update the photo URL to database. Great, edit action is also working fine in this AJAX CRUD application. Then we will check the delete action. So let's load a customer in the delete mode. This is the delete screen of the application. In the top, it displays the confirmation message. In case if the user changes their mind, they can click the back button to go back to the listing screen. But I want to press the delete button to test the delete action. So let's press the delete button. Perfect. The delete action is also working fine in the application. So all the CRUD operations are working in the application without any errors. This will be a very useful tutorial for you guys. So please watch the full video without skipping any part. Apart from this customer CRUD, we also have two more CRUD modules in this application, namely country and city. Let's have a quick look at these CRUDs. This is the listing screen of the country module. And this is the detail screen of the country module. Then this is the edit screen of the country module. And finally, this is the delete screen of the country module. Likewise, we have the city module, but that is very similar to the country module. So let's skip and jump into the development session of the application. AJAX stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Asynchronous call means the function call will not block the calling thread and will create a new thread. This new thread will work independently and report back to the calling thread after it completes the work. Due to this, the main thread will be in a responsive mode and in a ready state to do any other work. This phenomena is very common in Windows Forms programming, but in web this can be achieved only with the help of AJAX. In simple English, asynchronous operation is just like going to a tea shop and order for a tea, and you can do something else till the tea comes. So you are free in the waiting time and you don't need to worry about how the tea is made. But synchronous operation is like making a tea and drinking it. You must stand near the tea and watch it carefully till it is prepared, and then you can enjoy the tea. Here you are occupied till the tea is prepared, and you need to take care of everything like how much tea dust to put, how much milk to add, and how much sugar to add. Am I confusing you? No worries, you are going to understand what is AJAX after you complete watching this video. Okay, let's come back to the AJAX. AJAX was first introduced in the year 2005. Using AJAX, you can read and send data from and to a web server in the background. Then you can do the partial refresh of the web page, and you can also make the web page act like a Windows Forms application. AJAX is a technical term and it is not a language or platform. AJAX concept works using the XML HTTP request object. In 2002, JavaScript added an API called as XML HTTP request. This XML HTTP request is a standard JavaScript object that allows you to make HTTP requests from the browser in JavaScript. It was named at a time when XML was the only open standard language to transfer data in cross-platform domains and between different languages. In the sense, VB, C#, PHP, Java, Python, whatever the language you use understands the XML very well. So you can say XML was on its top during the late 90s and early 2000s. But later JSON was introduced, and after 2010 slowly JSON started to take over the place of the XML, and today XML is almost dead or rarely used. What is JSON? JSON means JavaScript Object Notation. JavaScript Object Notation is a standard text-based format for representing structured data based on JavaScript object syntax. It is commonly used for transmitting data in web applications. JSON is used everywhere because it works natively with JavaScript, and today almost all the browsers understands JavaScript very well. So AJAX using JSON is a very powerful and a must-learn technology. AJAX can be used with any type of data including XML, plain text, HTML and JSON. The beauty of AJAX is you can make multiple requests at the same time without refreshing the whole page. Internally, AJAX uses the XML HTTP request object of JavaScript, but using this object is not handy and you need to write a lot of code carefully. So instead, we can use the wrapper methods provided by the jQuery. There are two widely used methods for AJAX in the jQuery. First one is jQuery.getJSON and the second one is jQuery.ajax. But these methods also uses the XML HTTP request object of JavaScript internally. We don't want to go deep into that, so let's start the coding. Start Visual Studio 2022. Then click Create New Project. After that, from the left side suggestion box, select ASP.NET Core Web App using the Model View Controller pattern. Then click Next. Save the project in the C drive /Advanced AJAX folder. Give the name of the project as Advanced AJAX. Then click the checkbox with the description as Place solution and project in the same directory and press the next button. Then in here, leave the framework selection combo box to .NET 6.0, which is in the long-term support. Then press the create button and wait for the project to get scaffolded. Expand the models folder. Then right click and click the add menu. After that, select new item menu. And in here, select class as the item type. Then give the file name as country.cs. After that, open the country.cs file from the models folder. Then open the source code folder in the Windows Explorer and then open the one.txt file from there and copy all code from the one.txt file and paste it to the country.cs file. After pasting, we can see lot of error indicators under the property attributes. This is because we have not referenced the required namespaces. So to fix these errors, open the 4.txt file and copy all code to the clipboard. And then open the program.cs file and paste the code from the clipboard to the header section of the program.cs file. After that, we get a different error. It says non-nullable property must contain a non-nullable values. This is the new normal of the .NET 6 requirement. To fix this issue, open the project properties window, scroll down to find the nullable option. And here, change the nullable option to disabled and close the properties window. And now notice the errors are disappeared. Next, let's create the city model. Right click the models folder and select add followed by the new item menu. Then choose the item type as class and give the name of the class as city.cs. After that, go to the source code folder and open the 2.txt file. Then copy all code from the 2.txt file and paste it to the city model. Kindly have a quick notice on this model. The ID, code and name property are the normal ones. But the country ID property is the foreign key from the country table. Notice the virtual property of type country. When you are having a foreign key property in the model, then you must add the virtual property of parent entity type in the child model. Next step is to create the DB context. Before creating the DB context file, we must install the Entity Framework Core and Entity Framework Core tools. So select the Tools menu and then select NuGet Package Manager and then click the Manage NuGet Packages for solution. In here, click the Browse tab and in the search box type EF Core for SQL Server and press Enter to start the search. Then from the search results, select the first item Microsoft.EntityFrameworkCore.SQL Server. Then select the Advanced AJAX checkbox from the right hand side and after that click the Install button to start the installation. During the installation, if you are prompted with the Preview Changes dialog box, then press OK to continue the installation. After that, press the I accept from the License Acceptance dialog box and continue the installation. Perfect. Now the EF Core installation is completed. Next, we need to install the EF Core Tools packages. This time, type EF Core Tools in the search box. Then, as usual, select the first item from the search result Microsoft.EntityFrameworkCore.Tools and select the Advanced AJAX checkbox and press the Install button. Then press the OK in the Preview Changes dialog box and I accept from the License Acceptance dialog box and continue the installation. Okay, now the EF Core tools also got installed successfully. Next, we need to create the DB context file. Right click the Solution Explorer and click Add New Folder and name the folder as Data. Then right click the Data folder and click Add New Item and select Class as the item type and give the name as the appdbcontext.cs. After that, open the 3.txt file from the source code folder and copy all the code from the 3.txt file and paste it to the appdbcontext.cs file. Then open the appsettings.json file. In here, we need to add the connection string of our database. So open the 5.txt file from the source code folder, copy all code to the clipboard again. Then come back to the appsettings.json file and paste the code from the clipboard after deleting all the existing content from the appsettings.json file. Then after, open the 6.txt file and copy the code from it to the clipboard. And then open the program.cs file and paste the code from the clipboard to the program.cs as shown in the video. Then after, go to the NuGet Package Manager console and type add-migration space create db and press the enter key to execute the command. Now the migration file is created successfully. Then type update-database to update the changes back to the database. Okay, update database command also executed successfully. Let's verify it by going to the SQL Server. Open the SQL Server Management Studio and refresh the databases. In case if you don't have the SQL Server Management Studio, please download and install it. It is a free tool from Microsoft. Notice the database named AJAX example exists. This was created by our project. Let's expand the tables collection. Yes, we have 3 tables here. First one is migration table, which is a EF Core table, and EF Core will maintain all the migration changes in this table. Then the second table is cities table. This is the important table because it has the foreign key column in it. Then the third table is the country table. This is the parent table for the cities. Then expand the columns of the city table. In this, the country ID column is the foreign key. Okay, all is well so far so good. Let's go back to the Visual Studio. Then right click the controllers folder and select add controller and then select MVC controller empty and press add. Give the name for the controller file as countrycontroller.cs. Then press add to scaffold the empty controller. And then go to the source code folder and open the 7.txt file. Copy all the code from the 7.txt file to the clipboard. Then open the country controller and paste the code from the clipboard to here. Then let's try building the application. Okay, it has built it without any errors. Then we will create the view files for the country controller. Right click the index action method and then click the add view. Then select razor view and click add. In here, select list in the action template method. And then select country as the model class. Then select appdb context as the data context class. Then press add to start the scaffolding task. Sometimes Visual Studio scaffolding task throws error in the first time while you are trying to create a view file. No worries, just press OK. Click add to try creating the view file again. Wow, this time it has created the index.cs HTML for the index action method of the country controller successfully. In the same way, we will create the view file for the create action method. Right click on the create action method and click add view. Then select razor view and click add button. Then here select the action template as create and the model class as country and select the data context class as appdb context. After that, press the add button to start the scaffolding task and wait for the task to complete. In the same way, create view files for the other action methods like details, delete and edit. I have done those in the 32x speed. Okay, now we have created the view files for all the action methods of the country controller. And next, we need to create the menu link for the country controller in the layouts.cs HTML. So, open the layout.cs HTML from the shared folder which is inside the views folder. In here, copy the menu link of home and paste it below. Then, in the pasted menu, change the ASP-controller to country and menu text also to country. Then build and run the application. Perfect, our application is running. Let's create few countries: India, USA and UAE. Okay, the create action is working fine. Then we will also check all the other CRUD operations of the country module like edit, details and delete. Perfect. All the CRUD operations are working fine. In the same way, let's create the city controller. So right click the controllers folder and select add controller and then select MVC controller empty and press add. Then give the name for the controller file as citycontroller.cs. Then press add button to scaffold the empty controller. Then after, go to the source code folder and open the 8.txt file. From here, copy all code from the 8.txt file to the clipboard. Then open the city controller and paste the code from the clipboard to there. Okay, let's try building the application. It has built it without any errors. Then we will create the view files for the city controller. First, create the view file for the index section. By the way, we will do all the views creation steps in the 32x speed, because we have already seen the steps at the time of doing the country module. Nothing new here, almost same steps. Instead of country, we are going to select city in the model selection box. Okay, the view file index.cshtml for the index section method is successfully created. In the same way, we will create the view file for the create action method. All the steps are same like country modules create action, but select the model class as city instead of country, and then press the add button to start the scaffolding task and wait for the task to complete. After that, open the create.cshtml which we just created. In here, change the ASP-items to viewback.countries for the country ID select list control. After that, we need to create the menu link for the city controller in the layouts.cshtml. So open the layouts.cshtml from the shared folder which is inside the views folder. In here, copy the menu link of country and paste it below. Then in the pasted menu, change the ASP-controller to city and menu text also to city. Okay, let's build and run the application. Now click the city menu and then click the create new link. First, check is the country select box is showing the available countries or not. Yes, it's showing. So let's create a city. Enter BOMS code and Mumbai as name and select the country as India and then click the create button. Wow, the city Mumbai is created successfully. Let's create one more city. This time we will create Bangalore. Now let's create the view files for the edit action method. Then change the ASP-items to viewback.countries for the country ID select list control. Let's check the edit action. So build and run the application. From here, select a city to edit. Perfect. The edit screen is showing the country of the city in the country select list. Okay, let's change the city name to capital letters and press the edit button. Perfect. The edit action is working fine. Then let's create the view files for details method. Then in the same way, let's create the view files for the delete method also. Okay, all the CRUD operations of the city module are created now. Let's check all the CRUD operations of the city module. Since we have already tested the create and edit methods, we will check the details and delete method now. Let's try to delete the city. Yes, the city got deleted. So far so good. Now all the CRUD operations are working fine for both the city and the country module. Actually, we have some issues in this project. I will tell what exactly it is and how to fix those and also how to avoid them in the real-time projects. First, notice the city New York is present in the cities list. Now I am trying to delete the country USA. Let's see what happens. Actually, it's supposed to throw the error, but instead it has deleted the city New York and the country USA. This is a dangerous behavior and we should not allow this in the real time. First, we need to understand why this happened. This is because by default the EF core creates the onDelete cascade relation for the child tables. It means the dependent rows in the child table will also get deleted on deleting the main record of the parent table. We need to change this behavior. So to do that, we must change the relation type to referential action.restrict before applying the migration. But now we cannot do this because the migrations are already applied. So we will handle the situation in a tricky way. We will create an empty migration named remove online cascade. Then after, open the migration file which we just created and notice both the methods named up and down are empty. Now open the 16.txt file from the source code folder and then copy and paste the code from the 16.txt file to the up method. Actually, in this code, we are requesting the EF core to remove the existing foreign key which has online cascade constraint and then add the new foreign key which is of type referential action.restrict so that the parent row cannot be deleted in the country table when the child rows exist for that country in the cities table. Then after, copy the code from the 17.txt file to the down method of the empty migration file. And then go to the package manager console and type the update-database command and press enter to apply the migration to the backend database. Wow, the command got executed successfully. Now run the application and try deleting any country which has cities in it. See, this time we are getting errors. This is the correct behavior. But we should not leave like this. We should handle this error. So let's add a try block to handle this error. After that, in the exception handling block, catch the inner exception and pass it to the model error. To do this, open the 18.txt file from the source code folder and replace the delete method with the 18.txt file code. In the real time, we should not pass the actual error information to the user. Instead, we can pass a custom error message to the user and we should record the actual error message in the log files or in the application event. That I will show later in some other tutorial as it is out of the scope for this tutorial. Let's try to delete a country. Notice now the country is not deleted, but the error message is not shown. Why? Okay, I found the issue. I forgot to add the validation summary span to the delete.cs HTML. So let's add and run the application again. Yes, now the error message is displayed, but the fields of the country are empty. Why this happens? This is because EF core first delete the country from its list and then try to delete the country from the database. On deleting the country from the database, it got error, but the selected country is already deleted in the EF core's country list. So to fix this issue, we need to reload the country from the database. To do this, open the 19.txt from the source code folder and paste the code to the delete methods exception handling block and run the application again. After that, let's try to delete the country again. This time we are getting the country details along with the error message in the delete screen on error. Now we are done with the country and city model. Next we will create the customer model. So let's go to the models folder and create a model named customer. After that, open the 20.txt file from the source code folder and copy all code from the 20.txt file. Then come back to the customer model and paste all code from the 20.txt file. And then go to the app.db context and add the customer table to the dbset properties. After that, go to the NuGet package manager console and type add-migrations space add customer table and press enter. Now the migration file is created. We need to do an important step in this migration file. So open the last migration file having name ending with as add customer table. Then change the relationship referential action type to referential action dot restrict. Then after, go to the package manager console and type update-database, then press enter. This is a very important step. Otherwise the EF core will create an on-delete cascade relationship, which is not a good practice. Because in on-delete cascade relationship, when deleting the city, the customers belong to that city will also get deleted. But now the city cannot be deleted when it has dependent rows in the customer table. This is the more recommended way to create parent and child relationship. Okay, now let's create the customer controller. Go to the controllers folder and create a controller named customer controller. After that, open the 21.txt file and copy all code from the 21.txt file and paste it to the customer controller. And next we need to create the view files for the customer controller. Let's first create the view file for the index action method. Right click the index action method and click add view, then select Reza view and then select template as list and then model as customer. After that, click the add button and wait for the scaffolding task to complete creating the view file. Next, open the layout.cs HTML from the shared folder which is inside the views folder. And in here, copy the menu item of the city and paste it below. Then in the pasted menu link, change the ASP-controller to customer and the menu text to customers. Now let's build and run the application. Then click the customers menu. Yes, the listing screen is loaded. So far so good. Next, let's do the create action. So close the application and go back to the Visual Studio and open the customer controller. Right click the Create Action method and click Add View, then select Razor View and click Add button. And then select Template as Create and Model as Customer. After that, click the Add button. Wait for the scaffolding task to complete creating the view file. Then open the create.cs HTML file. Notice it has not created any input control for the country property because we have made the country property as a not mapped property in the country model. So let's create the input control for the country property by ourselves. Copy the input control of city property and paste it above. Now change the city ID to country ID in the label and in the select list. After that, change the ASP-items of the country select list to viewback.countries. Then save and run the application. Let's click the customer menu and click the create action link. Yes, the create screen is loaded and the country select list box is also filled properly. But the city select list box is empty and even on changing the country select list box, nothing happens. This is because we have not written any code to fill the city list box so far. So stop the application and go back to the Visual Studio design time and open the customer controller file. Now open the text file named 22 from the source code folder and copy and paste the code from the 22.txt file to the customer controller. This code will add an action method named getCitiesByCountry. This method has the return type as JSON result. Actually, we can have action result also as return type. But when you are returning the JSON string, it is recommended to have the JSON result as the return type. In here, we are passing the country ID as the parameter to fetch the cities belongs to that particular country. After that, we fill the list named cities by selecting the ID and the name of the cities matching the country ID. And finally, we pass the list to a JSON result object and returns to the view. So we are done with the controller. Let's go to the view file. Open the create.cs HTML from the customer folder, which is in the views folder. Here we have to write a JavaScript function to make the AJAX calls to fill the cities of the selected country. So open the 23.txt file from the source code folder. Then copy and paste the codes of the 23.txt file to the script section of the create.cs HTML. This script is very important, so please listen carefully. First of all, I made the filling of city dynamically using the AJAX as a function so that it is a portable and you can copy and paste it to any of your project. This function has two parameters. The first parameter is a select list control. You need to pass the select list which has the country details. Then second parameter is the ID of the city select list control. Then I am using the jQuery method to get the reference to the city select list by the ID. Next, I am deleting all the options from the city select list. After that, I am adding the default option as select city. After that, I am finding the currently selected country ID. Then if the country ID is found successfully, we are making an AJAX request to customer controllers get cities by country action method using the getJSON method of the jQuery. Please note I am also passing the selected country ID to the parameter country ID of the getCities by country method. After that, on success, I am creating a callback function to fill the cities to the city select list. In the callback function, I am checking is the JSON result is received. If received, then I am filling the city select list. After that, we must call the fill cities function in the onChange event of the country select list. Here we are passing the first parameter as this, and it means we are passing the country select list control reference. And the second parameter is the ID of the city select list. Please note I have added the ID attribute to the city select list. Okay, that's it. We are done. Let's run the application and create a customer. Now the customer screen is loaded successfully. Let's select the country and notice all the cities belong to that country is filled in the city select box. Oh, I forgot to add the file input control, but AJAX is working fine. So let's add the image and file input control to our customer creation screen so that we can save the customer profile photo also. Open the create.cshtml and first delete the input control for the photo URL. And then open the 24.txt file from the source code folder and copy and paste code from the 24.txt file to the create.cshtml after the submit button. Notice I have kept the photo URL in the hidden div. This is because I don't want the user to enter the photo URL. Instead, we will take it from the file upload control. Next, open the 25.txt file and paste it above the submit button. After that, open the 26.txt file and copy the code from it and paste it to the top of the create.cshtml. I mean just below the view data of the code as shown in the video. Then copy the image named noimage.png file from the source code folder and paste it to the images folder, which is inside the www root folder. If there is no images folder in the www root folder, then create a folder named images inside the www root folder. After that, open the 27.txt file from the source code folder and copy the code from it and paste it in the script section below the fill cities method. And next, open the 28.txt file and copy the code and paste it to the form tag. This we do because when uploading file to the web server, the form encoding type should be multiport/form data. After that, open the customer controller.cs file. Then open the 29.txt file and copy the first line and paste it to the customer controller below the read-only variable appdb context. Then after, Copy the second line from the 29.txt file and add it to the parameter section of the constructor method. And then copy the third line from the 29.txt file and paste it to the constructor method. After that, open 30.txt file and copy the get profile photo file name and paste it to the customer controller.cs file. Next, open the 31.txt file from the source code folder and copy all code from it to the clipboard. And then scroll up to locate the HTTP post create method. In here, inside the copied code above the line which says contact.add of customer. Then build and run the application. Now let's try creating our first customer. Perfect, the cities are getting filled on changing the country. So our AJAX code is working fine. Let's add the photo of our customer Virat Kohli. Then we will save our first customer profile. Wow, it got saved. So we are done with the create module. Let's do the edit module now. Before doing the edit module, we need to do something important. Edit module is also going to be same as the create module, only with slight difference. Since we are going to use the same JavaScript functions in the edit module, first we need to move the JavaScript functions to the site.js file. So let's move it. Okay, now we have moved the JavaScript function to the site.js. Let's build and run the application. Oh no, the AJAX stopped working. See, I am changing the country, but the cities are not filled. Why? I guess there is some issue in the site.js file. Let's go to the site.js file to find and fix the issue. Yes, I found the issue. The @url.action is the server-side code. We must not keep any server-side codes in the site.js file because site.js file is a client-side script file. So remove it and just change the line to get JSON of customer/get cities by country within quotes as shown in the screen. Okay, let's build and run the application again. Wow, now the AJAX methods are working fine. See, when I change the country, the cities belongs to that country are populated in the city select box. Okay, that's it with the create module. Let's create the edit module. Go to the Solution Explorer and expand the Views folder, then expand the Customer folder. In here, copy the create.cshtml and paste it there. After that, rename the copy of the create.cshtml to edit.cshtml. Then open the edit.cshtml and change the ASP-action to edit in the form tag. Then open the 32.txt file and copy the code and paste it above the model summary error div. Basically, we are creating the hidden input type control for the ID property of the customer model. Then scroll down and change the value attribute of the submit button to edit. Next, change the source attribute of the preview photo image tag to images/model.photo URL. This code is available in the 33.txt file. You can copy and paste it from there. After that, let's save and run the application. Then load any customer profile in the edit module. Now the customer profile is loaded in the edit module. But notice the country and city is not loaded. But no worries, we will fix the issues. First, we need to change the edit method to fetch the customer with the cities. So go to the customer controller and locate the edit method. Then open the 34.txt file from the source code folder and copy and paste the code from there. After that, notice I set the customer.country ID equals to customer.city.country ID. This I am doing because country ID is an unmapped property and it will be null by default. So we need to do this manually. And next we need to include a private function named getCities which will return a list item instead of JSON. So open 35.txt file from the source code folder and copy and paste the getCities method from there. And next go to the edit method and set the viewback.cities equals to getCities of customer.country ID. This code is available in the 36.txt file. And then go to the edit.cshtml and set ASP-items of the city select list to viewback.cities. That's it. Let's build and run the application. Now load a customer in the edit mode. Wow, the customer is loaded correctly. Let's change country. See, the cities of the selected country is populated properly. So the edit module is also working fine now. Let's do some modification in the customer. Let's change the email ID and save the customer. Oh no, we get an error saying please select the customer profile photo. But this error is no way related to the AJAX. It is okay, we will fix this error also, but AJAX is working fine now. Open the edit.cshtml and in the input control for photo URL, remove the value attribute which says value equals to 0 string. After that, open the 37.txt file from the source code folder. Then copy and paste the code to the edit method of the customer controller above the line which is attaching the customer object to the EF core context. Basically, we are checking is the user uploaded new photo. If so, we replace the old one with the new one. Otherwise, we preserve the old photo with the customer record. And then build and run the application. Then try editing the customer data. Yes, this time the record got saved successfully. Then let us also try to change the photo. Yes, the customer photo is also changed successfully. So our edit action method is also working fine. Next, let's do the details and delete action. Go to the Solution Explorer explore the views folder and select the customer folder, copy the edit.cshtml and paste it there. After that, change the name of the pasted file to details.cshtml. Then open the details.cshtml and first change the heading to details. After that, remove the style tag, we don't need it here. Then remove the form tag also and all the validation span elements except the validation summary span. And then remove both the select list, I mean the country select list and the city select list. Then after, add the normal input control for the country and city property. Then change the ASP-for tag helper to model.city.country.name for the country input control. Likewise, change the ASP-for tag helper to model.city.name for the city input control. After that, delete the file upload input control. We don't need the file upload input control in the details section because details page is always read only. And remove the submit button also. In the place of the submit button, add a tag. The code for the a tag is available in the 38.txt file in the source code folder. Next, make all the input controls as read only. Since this is a details page and we are not going to submit anything back to the database, so it's better to keep it as a read only. Then add the Bootstrap class form-control-plain text to all the input controls which are read only. After that, open the customer controller.cs file from the controllers folder and then change the details method fetch command to include the city and country entity along with the customer entity. To do that, open the 39.txt file and copy all code and paste it to the details method of the customer controller. Then build and run the application. Now select a record in the details board. Perfect. All the details of the customer are shown properly. Notice the city name and country name are also shown properly. Next, in the same way, we will do the delete action method. Delete action method is very simple. Go to the Solution Explorer, explore the Views folder and select the Customer folder, copy the details.cshtml and paste it there. After that, change the name of the pasted file to delete.cshtml. Then open the delete.cshtml and first change the heading to delete. For delete, we need a form tag and submit button. So add the form tag and set the action of the form tag to delete. Okay, that's it. Let's build and run the application. Now let's open the customer Virat Kohli in the delete screen. But I don't want to delete Virat Kohli. He is a nice person and good batsman, so let him be in the team. We will click the back to list link. With this, the customer module is completed. But don't go away. I will show how to bring the model dialog using AJAX, which we saw in the demo. So please stay on. First, we need to install a client-side library called jQuery.unobtrusive-ajax. To install this library, right-click the Solution Explorer, then select the Add menu and then click the Add Client-Side Library. Here you will get a model window named Add Client-Side Library. In this, leave the provider as CDN.js and in the library text box type AJAX. Then from the suggestion box, select the jQuery.unobtrusive-ajax.min.js. The latest version is 3.2.6. Now click install. After that, the library will be added to the libs folder of the www root folder. Let's explore this folder and we will make sure the library is added properly to here. This library will add additional features to the AJAX capabilities. Let's see what it is. Explore the views folder and then explore the shared folder inside it. Right click the shared folder and click add and click view. Then select Reza view empty and give the name as underscore create model dialog.cshtml. Off the recording, I have created the HTML mockups for the dialog window. Please copy the HTMLs of the dialog window. Actually, this HTML is very easy to understand. First, create a div with ID as div create dialog holder. This div will be the parent div and it has the class as model fade. This class is very important, so please have extra attention. After that, add the role as dialog. This is also important so that it stands out as the model window. Okay, let's come to the next div. This is the dialog window, so put class as model-dialog. And next, create one more div. This is the content div, so give class as model-content. Then inside it, add one more div and give the class as model-header. Then inside this, add h2 tag and put heading as create. And then add a button and give the class as close and set data-dismiss equals to model. This is very important so that when you click this button, the model dialog will hide and will get closed. After that, add one more div named div create dialog and set the class as model-body. This div is very important and notice the spelling of the ID. This ID we will be using soon, so please make sure you note it down properly. After that, add one more div and set the class to model-footer. Inside this div, add a button and set the class to button-danger. Then set the data-icon to close. And then set the data-dismiss to model. Okay, that's it. We are done with the model dialog. Please have a look at the complete code and copy it properly if you really want to bring a pop-up window type entry screen. After that, go to the Solution Explorer and select www root folder. Then expand the www root folder and select the JS folder and expand it. Then from here, open the site.js file and scroll to the bottom of the file. And in here, add a JavaScript function named show create model form, and inside it call the jQuery method model of show for the div named div create dialog holder. And next go to the country controller and add an action method named create model form. Then inside it add a variable named country of type country and set it to a new instance of country. Then return partial view and in the first parameter pass the partial view name, I mean create model form. Then in the second parameter pass the country model. After that, go to the Solution Explorer and open the validation scripts partial.cs HTML. In here, add the link reference to the jQuery.unobtrusive-ajax.js file. After that, open the layouts.cs HTML. And in here, add the partial view underscore create model dialog before the render body. Then after, expand the customer folder from the views folder and open the create.cs HTML file from the customer folder. And near the country select box, add a div and place a button inside this div. On clicking this button, we are going to call AJAX function named show country create model. Then wrap the select country div and the show country create model div inside a button dash group div as shown in the video. Okay, let's write this AJAX JavaScript function. So go to the script section and write the function. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. Add the ID for country select list. This is a very important step. And then let's go to the script section. This time we are going to use the AJAX method of the jQuery. Last time we have used the getJSON method of the jQuery, but not a big difference between that and this. This method has three parameters. First one is URL. In the URL, type /country/create model form. Remember, we created this method in the country controller. Then the second parameter is call type. So put call type as get. Then the third parameter is on success. Here we need to write a callback function which will get fired on success of the call. In this callback method, we are going to fill the div create dialog div with the response we received from the controller method. After that, we are showing the model create form of the country, so we are almost done. Now go to the country controller file and right click the action method named create model form. Then click add view and then select Reza view. Then include a underscore before the view name. I mean change the view name to underscore create model form. This is because the partial view name should always start with an underscore. Then select the action template as create and set model class as country. Then select the data context class as appdbcontext. Then press the add button and wait for the scaffolding task to create the view file for us. Excellent, the view file creation is completed now. Let's build and run the application to check the output of what have we done so far. Wow, notice the green button near the country select box. Let's fill the customer details and press that button. Great, we got the model dialog window now, but still our job is not complete. So please wait and watch till the end. If you try to create a country using this model dialog, it will not save because we have not written the post method yet. So open the create model form.cs HTML from the country folder. In here, first remove the underscore from the form's target action attribute. After that, open the country controller.cs file. Then in here, add an action method of type HTTP post and name the method as create model form. The important thing to notice here is the return type of this method. The return type is no content. It means this method will not return any view file to the caller function because this method is going to be called by a AJAX model form. Okay, let's build and run the application to check the output. Now let's create a country. Enter code as CHI and name as China and the currency as yen. Then press the create button. We click the create button but nothing happens. The model dialog supposed to get closed, right? That's what we saw in the demo. No problem. Let's close the dialog manually and check the country list. Yes, the country is created, but this is not the way it should work. No issues. Let's see what went wrong. First, stop the application. Then open the country controller and scroll to the bottom of the file. After that, write an action method named getCountries. This method will fetch all the country names and country IDs from the database and will pack it inside a JSON result and will pass the JSON result to the caller function. Then after, open the partial view file named create model dialog.cshtml from the shared folder which is inside the views folder. In here, comment the close button div. This is a very tricky solution. I don't know whether you guys can understand or not, but as a teacher, it is my responsibility to make you understand. So don't worry. Actually, it's not rocket science. I have created a fake footer bar. This footer has two buttons with IDs. These IDs are going to play very important roles. So please note down the IDs of the buttons. The first button with the ID as do back button is going to do the closing of the model window. This is the replacement button for the one which is boxed in the red. The second button with the ID as do submit button is the very important one. This is going to do the submission of the model window form. Next, notice the JavaScript function named as submit model form. This is the function actually does the form submission. Okay, that's it with the model window. Then open the site.js file from the www root folder. In here, scroll down to the bottom of the file. After that, add the function named submit model form. This function searches for the button with the ID as button submit and raises the click event of that button. Very nice, isn't it? What a technology. Now we need to open the create model form from the country folder which is inside the views folder. Then give the ID as btn submit for the submit button. Then make the parent div of the submit button to invisible by setting the display style attribute to none. Then comes the important steps. In the form tag of the country create model form, add the AJAX attributes. Notice we have set data-AJAX to true. By setting this attribute to true, we are informing the AJAX library to do a AJAX submit instead of the normal submit. Then we have set data-AJAX-success to refresh country list. That means if the post succeeds, then on return the JavaScript method named refresh country list will be called. So let's write this method in the site.js file. Open the site.js file and scroll to the bottom of the file. This method is very interesting and important one. First, it gets the reference to the do back button, then raises the click event of that button so that the model dialog closes and the focus goes back to the country select list. After that, we call the AJAX function named fill countries to fill the country select list to add the new country which we just added. And then we need to write this AJAX method named fill countries. So please copy down the method. This is very similar to the get cities by country method. Okay, let's build and run the application. Then let's click the customer menu and then click the create new link. After that, let's fill the customer details. And notice the country select list does not have the country named USA in the list. Okay, let's fill the country details and press the save button. Perfect. This time the model dialog box got closed on clicking the save button. Let's check the country select list. Yes, the country USA is added to the select list. So our country model dialog is working fine. Next, we will do the city model dialog. City model dialog is slightly different because we need to pass the country ID to the get cities by country method. So it is going to be little challenging. Actually, I thought of keeping it for the part 2, but this time no part 2. I will complete the city dialog also now. Go to the Solution Explorer and open the citycontroller.cs file and then scroll down to the bottom of the file. After that, add two methods named create model form. The first method is of type HTTP GET and second is of type HTTP POST. These methods are very similar to the one which we did in the country controller. Notice the error indicator under the variable country name. This error comes because presently our city model does not have this property. So open the city model and add the country name property and make this property of type string. Then add the not mapped attribute to the head of this property. After that, add the max length attribute and set it to 75. Then come back to the citycontroller.cs file. In here, add a method named getCountryName. The purpose of this method is to get the name of the country from the database by passing the country ID as the parameter. Then right click on the create model form method name and click add view. Then here change the name of the view name to underscore create model form. This is important because it is best practice to start the partial views name with an underscore. After that, set the template select box to create. Then set the model class to city. And then make sure you selected the create as partial view checkbox. After that, click the add button. Wait for the scaffolding task to get complete. After that, open the partial view file which we just scaffolded. In here, remove the underscore from the form's ASP-action tag helper. Then open the underscore create model form.cs HTML file from the country folder and copy the form's AJAX attributes to the clipboard. Then come back to the city's create model form.cs HTML file and in here paste the AJAX attributes to the form's head from the clipboard. Then change the method refresh country list to refresh city list because this time the city select list needs to be populated. After that, make the parent div of the submit button to invisible. Then delete the back to list div. Then after, open the create model form.cshtml from the country folder and delete the back to list from here also. Actually, I forgot to delete during the country module development. Then copy the jquery.validate.unobtrusive.js script file. Very important point to notice here. This library needs to be added to the bottom of your partial view file. Otherwise, the client-side validations will not work on partial views. It is a bug. Then open the create model form.cshtml file from the city folder and paste it there. Next, open the site.js file. Then scroll to locate the function named refresh country list, and below that add a function named refresh city list. This function is very similar to the refresh country list, but here we find the country select list using the document.getElementById and passing it to the fill cities function. And next, scroll to the top of the site.js file to locate the show country create model function. And below that, add the function named show city create model. This method is very similar to the show country create model. Then open the create.cshtml from the customer folder. Scroll to locate the city select control. And then add the plus button div below the div of the city select control. Then add a parent div to hold both the city select div and the plus button div. After that, change the style class of the city select control div to call-11. Then close the parent div. Now notice the on-click event of the plus button of select city control. This button will call the JavaScript function named show city create model to show the pop-up model form. Next, open the create model form from the city folder and delete the select list of country ID. After that, add a hidden input control for the country ID property and a read-only input control for the country name property. The hidden property is the foreign key property and it is a mandatory field here. Then this country name property is the not mapped property. We will populate it manually in the create model form action method of the city controller. Then give the ID for the submit button. This is also a very important step. So set ID as button submit. Be careful with the spelling, it is case sensitive. Okay, that's it. Let's build and run the application. Let's select the country as USA and notice there are no cities showing in the city select currently. Let's click the city plus button to load the model dialog. In here, let's enter city code as NY and city name as New York and country is already showing as United States of America. Click the save button to add the city to the database. Wow, the model dialog is hidden after saving the city. Let's click the city select list. Notice the city New York is listed in the city select list. Excellent, right? Then select the photo of Tom Cruise. And click the create button to save. Wow, the record is saved. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. With this, I am completing this video. Before I sign off, I request you to subscribe and share this video. I would appreciate if you would like and subscribe to this channel so that you will be notified for all of the new videos that I will be posting. Thank you and bye for now.